Hello and welcome to LiveCycle Designer Tutorial, Forum Edition. Today's episode we are looking at a forum entry where a user has a calculated field and they want the value of that calculated field to hide or reveal one or more fields depending on the value. Now I'm not going to use a calculate event for this because I want to just be able to do this quickly, but if in our example, this NF amount field that you see were calculated, we would use its calculate event to trigger what we're working on. In this case, we're just going to use the exit event because it's faster. So you see I have a NF amount object or field and two text fields, one GT2K greater than 2,000, the other one GT5K greater than 5,000. What will happen is one or both of these will appear depending on the number. So let's get right to this. In our number exit event, we want to use the value of this field to determine if the other two fields will appear. To make this a shorter bit of script, we're going to use nested if statements. In particular, we're going to nest an if statement inside of an else. So if this dot raw value, looking at again the number that we're going to put in, is greater than 5,000, then we know we want both fields to be visible. So we're going to set the presence of both fields to visible. Now the code I've got here, for those who are unfamiliar, whenever an equal sign is seen in JavaScript, it always sets from right to left. So in this case, the visible string is being set as the presence for TF GT5K. So the presence is now visible. And because there's an equal sign here as well, the same presence, the same visible string that was assigned to the presence of GT5K will also be assigned to GT2K. That makes both of our fields visible. Now, we could have a number where instead of being over 5,000, it's actually not over 5,000, but it's still over 2,000. And we have a scenario for that. Or it could be less than 2,000, and in that case we need another scenario. So, since we've already checked to see if it's over 5,000, we're going to use our else clause to cover just the part where it's over 2,000 but not over 5,000. In this case, we want the greater than 2,000 presence to be visible, but we want to keep the greater than 5,000 presence hidden. And I'm going to go ahead and set it here because it is possible that our calculated field, or in this case the one that we're just telling the values of, could change, and we want the form to respond accordingly. We don't want to leave something visible if it doesn't need to be anymore. And finally, we have a condition where both fields need to be hidden because the value is actually less than 2,000. Now let's set our fields to hidden. And let's take a look at our document. So for our number, if I put in 15, clearly that's less than 2000, so nothing happens. But if I put in 2001, now I get this greater than 2000 field. And if I were to make it 5001, I get both fields. And this concludes this episode of LiveCycle Tutorials Forum Edition. If you like the video, please give it a like and ask any questions in the comments. And of course, subscribe to be kept up to date when the latest videos have been released.